and now, and how things have transitioned over the years, you know. And one of the things that has been changing over the years is what is hot now, the intercall games. And tonight we're talking intercall, all right? So, well, it seems as if, the king might not be joining us this evening. Hopefully, he can, but he's found himself in a little situation there that and folks, don't get any ideas, don't get any ideas. But Doc is here, and of course, I mean, if we're talking intercall, me and Doc alone we could nice up the place. When you kind of consider the little advantage we used to take on them GBSS fellas and high school, not high school, no, PBC fellas and so they used to call us all kind of names. But anyway, we go get into that. So we want to welcome, of course, all our viewers on GBN TV, our friends on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also our listeners on K105 FM. All right. So Reece should be joining us pretty soon. In the meantime, Doc, how are you going, man?
Well, I'm pretty good. Just again another night being here, sharing and hoping to learn as much as I can from the listening public. This week is really up our alley. I mean, something that we've been doing almost all of our life.
Oh yes, indeed.
We used to use our feet and thing to jump and to run, and our hands now. Then after that, we start using our mouths to run up our mouths.
I like that. So it doesn't stop.
It's been a lifetime.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And even if we can't use them out, we still have the memories, eh?
Right. It is because it still with us.
We still have the memories, yes.
So unfortunately, the king is not here, and the queen. Hopefully, the queen would be here with us because, I mean, I was planning. I mean, a different ball game because I wanted to challenge you and Skull. I wanted it to be so polarized. Well, and I taking on you and Scholar on this whole intercall debate.
Well, I mean, no, you could take me on, because I plan to take you on as well,
alone. I mean, the amount of bombardment and firepower we have, you can't stand alone, you need help. I mean, Scholar was not going to be of much assistance anyway, but still.
You might be surprised, because just how you're planning, so I plan too, I plan as well. But,
but Godfrey, before we really go into it, let me start off by usual, make that make sense.
Of course.
Just this week I had to go. I went down to the city. I was summoned to the city, mainly to do a transfer. You sell a vehicle and you want to transfer ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this is the most ridiculous thing. You leave Sotters, St. Patrick, maybe St. John, St. Andrew, to go down into the treasury to do a 5-minute transaction and you don't have to pay a cent. Something as easy as signing your name, filling up a form that basically have 3 lines or 5 lines, and then they inserting that on the computer. In the meantime, people are staying in Grenada and purchasing vehicles and trailing a load of goods from China and Japan and all over. And you mean I can't go to a sub-office in Grenville and sign a form or insert some information on a computer that would allow a transfer of ownership that only take 5 minutes or less, with the early traffic congestion and, the difficulty in packing. I mean, in this modern time, I found that to be extremely ridiculous that I have to leave where I am in St. Andrew to go all the way. I mean, on the carnage, just to make a transfer that and the process is less than 4 minutes, and is the simplest question. Your ID card, sign your name, give the name of the vehicle, and basically that is it. So I that to me make sense.
It is something I've had little issues with as well because there are some things I do agree that we could have in some of the like Sauters, Grenville, Guave. You know, things that are not complicated. That we, well, no, we are must have it in Guave. I mean, you know, Guave kind of place, so we are. We don't, we don't must have it in Guave, but Grenville, we could even have it in Victoria. It will be no problem. But yeah, Sauters, Carriacou, all that, you know what I mean? We could even have one in Tivoli, because you know Tivoli is like a tongue in itself.
Like a city, there, city.
Yeah. But anyway, that being said, let's welcome the Queen. I think she dressed up there and I think she's going to intercall, you know. How are you, darling?
Right. So I promised you guys last session that y'all are not gonna ruffle my feathers. Y'all are not gonna gas me up. Y'all are not gonna pull me out. Okay? I am going to go back to being the docile, you know, just not all gassed up, Reece. So whatever it is that you don't want, that is not necessary in Guave, I want you to know that it has been in Guave already, and it can be back. It can happen anytime. So you know what? Take your first time, take your newbie, and you know, enjoy just as how, you know, and let it become a staple, like how y'all used to sell pig snout and snow ice in Grenville. Let it become a staple like that for you eventually as well. So I'm going to go back to logging into Facebook and stuff so I can speak to our viewers. King Fega Lampos.
Lampos is joke. You look at.
Anyway, good night to people and good night everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm at work as usual, but I'm here.
No. Well, the king do better than dog boy. You look at him like that. That's Lampos.
Man in a stadium, boy. There you go, stadium.
Finley, where you there? Where you there?
Sorry, man, like a Wi-Fi.
I did an airport bike.
Well, you're doing well, man.
I did an airport in Guava.
Well, you know, I could believe that because I mean, Guava airport.
Well, Guava the first hotel, you know. Guava airport.
Yeah. Well, Doc.
We have pasture to land in. We have pasture to land in.
Anyway, Finley, Doc said you well planned for us tonight, and he was a little disappointed that he wasn't there because he said he planned for me and you. So, at least I'm happy with you.
Well, let me hear what you're finding. I don't know how long I will be here. Sometimes the plane come just now, when the plane come again.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, tell the people good night before because we had to go to the lotto break in a little bit, and then we will come back.
Well, I did. Good night to the viewers. I mean, I jam in a holding straight. Nice. Well, I think that fella's ready for us, so let's take the break and get the lotto going. I have to see if I win tonight. You still feel like I win something tonight, or you can make me win something? You're muted. You have to unmute. She can't even hear, you know, but I tell you. Well,
I predicted that winning will happen on a Monday, and today is Friday. So you know what? Your ticket that you buy, you can just hold on to that. Once it's you.
Yeah? Listen, anytime I play, I just win, you know.
Eh?
Yeah. What do you mean? Anytime I play, I just win? I mean,
you need to make him play for you.
But, I mean, I win, look a free ticket and thing, you know. Look a free ticket and
Free ticket letter?
Yeah, no, that's win free ticket and thing.
Okay.
Well, anyway, let's take the break, and then when we come back, we will hear what Doc had to say. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a moment.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco.
Kirani James blazed the tracks at the National Stadium. Anderson Peters dominated at the same venue. Both were elite athletes before moving on to the international circuit. Grenada, the pursuit of glory has returned as secondary schools are back on the track and in the field. And GBN is here to shine the spotlight on our emerging stars. Join us for the live broadcast of the annual Intercall Games on GBN television. Coverage begins 9 a.m. on March 28th. 3 days, 74 events, 23 schools, 2 champions to be crowned. Republic Bank Inter-Secondary Schools Athletics Championship, March 28th, 29th, and the 30th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. GBN, with you, everywhere and anywhere.
Made possible by Guardian General Insurance, Rubis, get going, Dasani Water and Power Aid, and the National Lotteries Authority.
With the experts, help to find common solutions for common problems during this COVID situation. We fight it to protect our livelihood across the nation. This is for we to learn, share ideas and concerns, to live life like we deserve. We must change we mindset first. Build strong economies, closer societies. We all have a duty. CEF is for me and you. Beyond COVID, CEF is for me and you. Caribbean Economic Forum.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Do you have muscular pain that no one can find a solution for? Are you tired of taking meds for joint and other pains? Hills and Valley Medicare Center on Grenville Street, St. George is here to help you heal. We will help you map a path to your full recovery. Visit us Monday to Saturday for a consultation with our on-site doctor, physiotherapist, and massage team. You will be glad you did. Our Medicare Center, a proud member of the Hills and Valley group of companies. On the hilltop or in the valley, we are with you wherever life takes you. Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Your health is our business.
Get ready to witness the ultimate sporting spectacle at the Horizon National Athletics Championship 2023. This 2-day event is taking place on March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium with a jam-packed schedule of middle and long distance races, sprint races, field and jump events. This is an event not to be missed. Come see Track Blazers, Ace, 473 MVP, Fusion, Rising Stars, Velocity, New Track Club and schools will be competing to showcase their talent and vie for national supremacy. This is the final opportunity for athletes to qualify for the Carifta Games. Admission $20. Children under 12 can enjoy the excitement for just $10. Also, don't miss out on the big showdown in the senior men's 400 meters between Commonwealth semi-finalists Michael Francois, Adian Peters, Troy Mason, and Sibile Felix. It's the Horizon National Athletics Championship, March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Get your tickets now.
Island Stars annual Easter clearance sale is here, and boy, do we have some exciting deals for you. Massive savings on tires to be had with discounts from 10 to 35% off on all tires store-wide. Buy all we have in the low stock model and watch your discounts skyrocket with a huge 15% off. Plus, get chip edge tires for as low as $1. Yes, we're clearing out our old stock to bring in the new. And that's not all. The Easter Bunny has added extra savings on tubs, bathroom vanities, style tools, and so much more. It won't get any better than this. Jump on these excellent deals and visit our Island Style showroom on Monroe Road in Grandans or call 439-TILE. That's 439-8453. Sale ends Holy Saturday. When you think tile, think Island Style.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop.
Hello, Grenada. It's TGIF time again with the NLA. Thank goodness it's Friday. Every Friday in March, place 5 bets or more in a single ticket purchase on Cash 4, Pick 3 or Play Away. You automatically receive a quick pick inline ticket valued at $1. NLA is giving back more plays, more chances, more opportunities, and more prizes. Remember, when you play, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building. Promotion ends March 31st. You must be 18 years and over to participate.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. This is the National Lotteries Authority's Daily Pick 3 evening draw. It is Friday, March 10th, 2023. I'm your draw hostess, Leslie Ann Johnson. Supervising the draw is Ms. Josanne Clark, representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. A quick reminder as usual, there are 4 different bet types in this particular game from which you can choose. They're called inline, mix, here and backup. It pays to play Daily Pick 3. Let's see if you are a lucky winner. Good luck to you. All right, here we go. Our first number this evening, 6, the second number, 1, the final number, 8. All right, so let's just recap for your benefit. The first number is 6, followed by 1. The final is 8. So congratulations, of course, if you are a lucky winner. And congratulations, of course, to all our Daily Pick 3 winners from our midday draw. The total payout was $6,000. The Play With Draw is up next. We'll see you soon.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Macnic?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Hello once again, this is the National Lotteries Authority's Play With Evening Draw for today, Friday, March 10th, 2023. I'm your draw hostess, Leslie Ann Johnson. Supervising the draw, Ms. Josanne Clark. She's representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. In this game, you can bet from $1 up to $10, or you can bet in increments on any number or any dream symbol of your choice, and being with a chance to win 24 times the amount you bet, $24. For every $1 spent, value your dreams and win your way with Playway. Let's see if you are a lucky winner. Good luck to you. Number 4 this evening. That number is 12. Once again, the Playway number is 12. The dream symbol is car. Congratulations if you are a lucky winner. And of course, to all our Playway winners from our midday draw, the total payout was $42,192. Stay with us. The Daily Cash 4 is up next. We'll see you soon.
Hello, Grenada. It's TGIF time again with the NLA. Thank Thank goodness it's Friday. Every Friday in March, place 5 bets or more in a single ticket purchase on Cash 4, Pick 3 or Play Away. You automatically receive a quick pick inline ticket valued at $1. NLA is giving back more plays, more chances, more opportunities, and more prizes. Remember, when you play, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building. Promotion ends March 31st. You must be 18 years and over to participate.
All right, so we're back with you. This is the National Lotteries Authority's Daily Cash 4 Evening Draw. It is Friday, March 10th, 2023. I'm your draw hostess, Leslie Ann Johnson. Back with me once again is Ms. Josanne Clark. She is representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. So in this game, you can choose any number from 0 to 9 in any of the 11 bet types offered. The tickets cost as little as $1, except backup, which costs $2. More plays, bigger prizes. Let's play Daily Cash 4. Good luck to you. All right, here we go. Our first number this evening, 3, the second number, 4, the next number, 6, the final number, 7. All right, so just to recap for your benefit, the first number is 3, followed by 4, the next number 6, and the final is 7. So congratulations if you are a lucky winner. Congratulations as well to all our Daily Cash 4 winners from our midday draw. The total payout was $7,800. Stay with us, the lotto draw comes up shortly. We're playing for $360,000. We'll see you real soon.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA have been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. This is the National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Draw number 3482 for today, Friday, March 10th, 2023. I'm your draw hostess, Leslie Ann Johnson. Supervising the draw is Ms. Josanne Clark, representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. So we're playing for $360,000 tonight. But of course, before we select our 5 winning numbers, we will select the free ticket letter. Ticket letter is E and as in Eagle. Check to see if this matches the letter on your ticket. If it does, of course, you can claim your free ticket at your outlet of purchase. So we'll now select tonight's 5 winning numbers for $360,000. Good luck to you. And our first number tonight, that number is 25. Second number, 18, tonight's third number. 4, fourth number. 10, the final number. That number is 31. All right, so let's just recap for your benefit, starting with the free ticket letter. That is E, as in Eagle. And our 5 winning numbers for $360,000 are 25, 25, 18, 18, 4, 04, 10, 10, 31, 31. Congratulations to you, of course, if you are a lucky winner tonight. Continue supporting the National Lotteries Authority. Have a great night.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. So higher, give me some fire. little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maple.
Welcome back, everyone. It's We Culture, and we welcome those of you who probably just joined us. Tonight, we're talking Intercall. Yes, Intercall is coming up, I think, on the 28th, 29th, and 38th of March. And I'm not going to tell all you who win, although I know already, but who's going to win, but I know already. But in any event, we're talking that tonight. Finley, I'm starting with you tonight, because I have a feeling you just might have to leave us. So just in case you do, we want to start with you. Intercall. Today, well, in recent times, we had some little issues, of course, with COVID. We're back this year, I think, in full pell, as a man in Tivoli used to say. We're back in full pell. Intercall from many years ago to now. And before we get into a lot of the discussion, let's talk a little bit about that. Let's give us a little feature address, and then we're going to get into the thing.
I don't know to give the address again, right?
Yeah. But you say you take over from that?
Nah,
You feature pants tonight.
Yeah?
Give a feature pants.
I don't give no feature address. Feature address is for that. You want that as athlete.
Hold on. When Doc is athlete?
That boy, man, I give you feature address. As I hold on for you last week.
Well, Doc, the man declared here.
There we go, because that man won't have a long time to stay here. So listen, folks. Intercall is back with a bang. I mean, basically, at one time, the rivalry used to be mainly between, well, Intercall started in 1965, and the rivalry mainly between PBC and GBSS. And then SARS came in the scene full swing in the 80s. And from then on, they stamped the mark and there was a dominance. Intercall a little bias, slightly, the reliance was mainly on the boys division. But in the female division, you also we find that Anglican, St. George's at one time, and the convent, and then later Anglican, and then they moved to St. David, and then lately to St. Joseph Convent in Grenville. So that has been the first winner of SAS, both boys and girls. And in the boys, you find a movement also, not just from between GBSS and SAS, but you find that McDonald College, they stamped the authority, Wester Hall stamped the authority, and two emerging schools, I must say, both two schools in Carriacou, Bishop College. Help me, scholar.
Hillsborough
Secondary. But there is something that is brewing, and that is what we really want to look at as it relates to Intercall. In that last week we had a behind-the-scene kind of discussion, and of course with the able wisdom of somebody like Reece, we really established that the TAMCC, a school like TAMCC, should be part of that Intercall team, because we left a major segment of athletes with talent and ability. Reece and we really promote something that makes a lot of sense in terms of athletics and track and field and going forward, and more excitement for Intercall. So, tonight, the challenge is with TAMCC, and then should be in Intercall, and maybe other institutions. And then the second part of our discussion would look at the points. Now, do we give points from 1st to 8th, or do we give the traditional 1st to 3rd? So, folks, that is the contention. Standing on the winner's side, basically, of course, Reece and I, and of course, the other people, we don't want to name them. But so tonight, we start in the traditional form. On to your mark, get set, and let us go. Let us go, guys.
Scholar, hit him, Scholar, hit him, I'll come after. Hit him, Finley.
No. Godfrey has to give Jackie. The man just well.
Well, I say no, you know. I say no, you know. The man talk good talk there, but what I say, asking you to give the man a little rebut there. Bong, you have the bongs back?
Well, I can rebut that very easily. No, here is what, right? No, there is not a doubt in anybody's mind that there is a gap in terms of athletics in Grenada and children's or young people's involvement within the intercal age. There's a gap. Just as there's a gap with everything else, not only with athletics. There's a gap with cricket, there's a gap with football, there's a gap with basketball, that once children matriculate and they gone to tertiary level, there's nothing else for them. So there's a gap. But I think it is laziness on our part and in people's mind to believe that that gap should be filled by inserting them into the intercal scenario. There is a gap and something has to be done. But it does not mean that they should be intercal. No. I don't agree with that. Period. And here's why I do not agree with that. Now, one, we have to remember that intercal is a championship of sub-junior, junior, seniors, right? There was even prep at one time. And TAMCC would basically have seniors. So right away, TAMCC as an entity that can win intercal, you take that away from them already. TAMCC, there is no way TAMCC will ever win an intercal. Because you can't win intercal just running with senior children, while everybody else have the full works. But this TAMCC experiment was tried before, but it was used by certain what I would call
influential individual.
Certain individuals. It was used as a tool to help them win. So, because they know TAMCC are seniors, when certain schools don't have good seniors, they say, all right, let TAMCC take back. You know what? That's what they used to do. So it was used as a strategic ploy to just put TAMCC there. Let TAMCC suck out the senior points. And who are senior, strong senior, they dark. So that gave them a chance to win. And Doc knows that it's a fact. Then there's another point here, right? That, but because children in TAMCC know they can win. They know that from the one that they can win. But you have to remember that these children came from secondary schools. And they just come out in secondary school. So you imagine, you come out in your McDonald college, you come out in your high school, you come out way. And you just reaching TAMCC, but you could run. And you coming up against, let's say, real competition between high school and let's say convent. And you bad, you just come out in high school. You ain't running hard because you want high school to win. So in your mind, don't you running for TAMCC, but you're still running with high school, with McDonald College, with SAS in mind. And that used to happen to them children when the experiment was tried. Suddenly, man starting to drive in. When they realized they could knock out the school and disadvantage them, how can I muscle pull in, how can I think, men are going to run? Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, you have big, old, hardback people at least school donkey years. They're going in the college school die, which means they're going to support the school. So imagine children are just leave the school going in TAMCC. They don't want the school to be disadvantaged. And so all of this, and there's more, but I'll stop here. But all of those things, I do not disagree with Doc that Tommy CC children need to be engaged, but not in that same in the collegiate system.
Right. Is he coming?
First I can't stand there with that intercollegiate, whatever.
What is that?
Oh Lord. I just remembering that we culture program that we had post we culture last week Friday, right? And I remember you all was saying, oh, it's an intercollegiate game, whatever, you know? But there's only a few schools that have college to the name. So my thing is like, let Bishop's College, Presentation Brothers College, McDonald College, go in the college, the intercollegiate thing for themselves. Yeah? And see which one come last first. McDonald College will be there. Bishop College will come second.
Collegiate is secondary. Collegiate is secondary school.
There's a man. Watch. So it should have been the inter-secondary school competition.
No.
Yes. Because why college? Why college? Why the word college when the majority of schools out there have secondary in their name and they are secondary schools? Why intercollegiate? What was that? Was that we becoming Americanized?
No, it's a word that secondary school, so you're making it more sexy and fancy.
Oh, I see. You just want to seem sophisticating. Okay. Okay. Well, let me give my view on that. And I've heard King give a lot of background on it being tried, having not worked, and what are the little intricacies, the things that happen, and all of that. But from where I sit, I really think my reason for supporting the tertiary schools, and that's another argument we had too, what were tertiary schools? The tertiary schools being part of the intercol games is not so much for them to win the competition, because as you rightly say, they mostly would have is just senior athletes. It was more about having been around athletics clubs and all of that, and knowing the importance of competition and how much they have less of that when they reach in the tertiary schools. I thought intercol being our premier track and field event around this time, and they being of such a youthful age, actually fitting within the categories, that they should be allowed to compete but not be awarded points as part of the secondary school games. So in other words, put them there so that they can have strong competition. They can compete with the peers, the senior category, but that they would be given positions on a tertiary level. So you would have they competing with the NULO and what do you say? PAM is not tertiary education. PAM is not tertiary education, but a NULO and TAMSI. What is there another one?
There's no other one.
But have them compete among themselves, and for me, the purpose is just to make sure that they from their training they have another meet that they can attend, where you have a wider spectrum of athletes taking part, with different abilities. Get them to be able to test their training there at that premier event, because we know what competition do for athletes. That is when records are broken. That is when they show up. That is when the evidence of their training show up. And if they don't have that, what they depend on, the national champs, where clubs might take part. If they're not part of a club, they may never get to compete. So that is my reason. They are of the age. They need to be competing. They're fresh out of school. They fit into the category. Allow them to be able to participate. And because you are not grading them, you are not positioning them with the secondary school athletes, then they have no reason to worry about if they win high school may not win, and if they win, GBSS may not win because like they're competing against GBSS. So take away that competition with the secondary school, but allow them to be able to participate so they can test themselves and be able to come out talking about, you know, how well they did. And that's my thing, because I just find after secondary school is like there's a lull for them.
You see, let me, well, two things.
Because I want to contract you.
Two things. Two things. If them cheer and them don't competing, they don't running good. Everybody else competing and they running for fun. Joke you making.
But they're not running for fun. They're not running for fun.
What are they running for?
No, I did not say that.
So what are they running for?
They're running to win their division. Their thing. They're running to win the tertiary leg of this.
They should compete as any other school. Let us be coming.
Let me just... Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I'm going now, you know.
Bragging rights is a big thing, you know.
No, wait. So Reece, what you're saying, they're running against secondary school children to get their own fines for themselves?
Yes. Bragging rights is a big thing. Because for a child, especially you guys, for a child that just leave SAS, okay? Let's say SAS. And they are competing against maybe someone who repeated in GBSS, okay? Repeated in GBSS that they would have run with in the previous year. That is a big thing for them to beat them. Bragging rights is a big thing.
I hear what you're saying. Be yourself. I hope principle.
I don't be having it. I'll be having about golf, but I don't be having about that.
You hear me?
They call you what?
Hold on.
You get left?
Oh, we are not wait for you here. You are not spend on this one. The man listen. Only the man listen for a plane announcement, you know. What you just say? Flight, what is about to leave?
The flight just leaving in Barbados.
Just know.
Yeah, you know,
Anyway, yeah, go ahead, Scholar.
Which is a good thing. I hope principals never get you to help them with their guys in charity games because somebody will knock you down. Secondly, based on your logic about children viable with age, you know, competition, they what. Okay, fine. I agree with that. So then why not? Because you have children who are just leave school, they ain't going to MCC, they are idling by the side of the road, but they could really run. So why you don't have some idlers to bring in idlers to run for their own fines?
Stop that, because you know when it comes to campus, you have an ID. They have IDs. All those schools and them, they have IDs. You belong to the school. So they didn't go down and pick up nobody in Gun Battle or in Saigon or wherever to road.
That's your logic, that you have children of school age. What they don't go in and they don't compete in, and that is the best way to get a competition or whatnot. Because the truth is that.
So they just enter in top 5?
No, you have kind of like a weed man on the block, but they could run.
all them little teeth on them, they are real speed, you know.
That we coming because I have a lot of things to say about what Scholar said.
Go ahead.
Okay, couple things. I want to start from the beginning with Doc. First, Doc, you say when you was giving a look at history and thing, you talk about school that come and stamp the authority like McDonald College and who. They don't stamp no authority. They win at 2 games. The only school that stamp authority is SAS and GBSS. End that story. And well, in the girls, that different thing. College win at 2. How much in the college win? 4?
5.
How many boys?
5?
5.
The 5th one had controversy.
What controversy?
That don't count.
Yeah.
Right, so that's one thing. Scholar, the other thing, according to what Reece is saying, I mean, I kind of understand where Reece coming from. But let me give you a scenario. When you look at some of the international games, I've seen it happen. For example, with somebody athletes who fall start, you know, they allow them to run. They allow them to run.
You call it they run under protest.
Yeah, well, so they not necessarily protest, you know. They just allow them, but they're not. They're not recognized. They're not part of the competition, but they just run.
No, but that's what they call it, Godfrey.
Okay,
running
fine.
under protest.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've seen that happen. So Reece, I give you a local thing and they'll support day.
So the school should end up under protest?
No. If you false start, and you ask to run, but mainly in American sport, you ask you can run, and then they review because you're actually protesting, but they cannot deal with that issue now. So you run, you have your position, but it's not official.
Yeah, that's.
So when they review the tape, if it is official, you get your second or your third or your first. But if it is not official, then you off the game completely. You
Yeah.
can't run under protest.
So Reece, them school from Guav, they go to run under protest and you know.
Let me tell you something. You will put some respect on it. You know, we don't have the controversy that you all have. You know, we don't have. When you hear St. Rose Modern Secondary School and St. John's Christian Secondary School go to intercall, is normal, you know, normal age group.
And what your point? Your point is what? What's your point?
Right?
What's your point?
So whatever you're trying to imply, I'm implying the same thing. The same thing you're trying to imply.
So Godfrey, let me say, Reece, my dear, I have to disagree with you. So, Sam Sisi is as qualified to participate as any other school. For a matter of fact, and when they compete, they must compete with the intention of coming first. There are three categories at Intercol: sub-junior, junior, and senior. There are children in TAMCC that are juniors. They are 15-year-old and 16-year-old in TAMCC. And everyone, hold on, let me come in.
Hold on. You don't know the education system as well as I do. Don't go and run your mouth saying this thing.
Scholar.
In this present dispensation, where they bring back the age of intercal, you don't have no junior in TAMCC. There we go.
You don't have no junior in TAMCC?
Yeah.
You get junior in TAMCC. Be yourself now.
No.
Scholar, I just spoke to somebody that is in TAMCC. He has 6-year-old in TAMCC.
What is
under 17? That is a junior.
Under 17 is a mate. A junior in intercal, you could be under 17, you know, no problem. But a junior in intercal, you must take your 16 years this year.
Yeah, but the junior is those who born in 2006.
Really, under 17 up.
Scholar, there are juniors.
Hold on, if you take 16 years last year, you can be a junior.
I agree.
Hold on. And based on when, in the last rounds day, how common entrance? You see before, when they used to skip children, you could get juniors in TAMCC.
Yeah.
You can't get them no more.
Okay.
Because go to school older. Don't test me. I know the education system.
So let me agree with you. Scholar, so Scholar, you win that point.
Don't test the king.
You win that point.
Doc, where is the man vexed because he played no coming there? Don't fret him man.
So hold on, they're only seniors.
Yes.
Seniors in TAMCC is under 20, right?
Yes.
Right. So your child or children, Godfrey, you probably forget when you used to run. So you are as a good athlete.
Hey, what man?
Hold on.
Hey, what man? Careful here. I caught you off as a starting. I don't go and tell you. I forget when I used to run.
Both of us, we start competing. Now you tend to be more academically inclined to me, so you end up in TAMCC. You're within the age. You might be. You have a chance now, a next chance to go to Carista. So you're 16 or you're 17, so you're under 20, and you cannot compete in a collegiate game because you are in a different institution, and the only one you have are seniors. This is really the premier. Hold on, Scholar. This is really the premier track and field meet. And even if they cannot win, I am almost certain that 10, 15, 20 good athletes out of TAMCC not coming in the last 4 or 5 in intercal because they have a few schools that ain't going to make as much as probably 50 points at the end of intercal. So they are in competition. right? So that is my main point. Secondly, let me not get tied up with the name, but just looking for athletes that you want to give them that opportunity to compete, and this competition that brings out the best in athletes. So I don't see what is the rationale. For matter of fact, Scholar, Godfrey, what is your fear? What do you have to lose by allowing those athletes that are within the age group from competing in the Dakar? What do we have to lose?
Let me say this.
And I'll tell you what used to happen.
Let me say this.
That was a 1 year trial.
1 year, but more than
1 year trial. Let us continue that because the dynamics might change.
Let me tell you something. So you're erroneous. You getting just a politician tonight, you know. You don't right, you know.
But that is a politician and this guy
What?
Like debating your opponent.
Was Doc, there is no fear or anything like that, right? And I agree with you. Now, here is one thing. Character is not chosen based on intercall.
I agree.
So in other words, there is no value to character with intercall because the character trial where they pick the character team happens before intercall.
But Scholar, that way get it wrong. No.
It's national champs, right? No. But Scholar, are you telling me that there's never been a time where the national champs is gone, yeah, and they choose an athlete who performed well at intercall?
Exactly.
They stop that.
I know that national champs
they have. I don't know about no, but they did before. They've done before.
That happened many times.
Yeah.
Scholar. Also, let me tell you something. While you say intercall has nothing to do with them character or selecting a character, let me tell you the difference. As an athlete, because intercall is such a big thing, you put on more, you train more because and not only that, you have a chance to look forward to that event more than anything else. You know the number of athletes that leave their high school and go to TAMCC, and because they don't have a chance to compete at intercall, they just give up the game with good talent.
But in all fairness, right? It is much better now. You're talking about long ago thing, but it's much better now. Let me tell you why. Because there is now a plethora of clubs, athletic clubs that have sprung up in Grenada, right? All over the place. You have athletic clubs. St. David's are a big club. Tongue have about 3 or 4 well-viable clubs. I think St. John's are club, St. Andrew's are club, you have Ace, you have who and who. And that same children and children who have just left school, this is where they do their training, and they train better, much better in a lot of cases than when they were in school. Now, if you listen to the character trials, well, what we call in national games now, if you listen to the advertisement, they have a special race that they're advertising. Come see who and who in the 400 meters, right? All these are a set of SAS boys that leave SAS school about 7, 8 years ago, 6, 7, 5 years ago. Those are the boys that they're talking about are competing. Them boys and them at the peak of the farm. So it is not fair to say, really, because of all this club structure that's taking place, that when these children and them leave, that they are not absorbed and they are not well trained and ready for character. It's not true. It's not true.
Well, you know what, Doc? I would say that not Doc, sorry, Scholar. I would say that the clubs are available. They are there. They are there. But we know that when you have teachers and coaches on your back in school, it's different from when you are out there. Out there is more like I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I want a career in track and field. So you go and you train with the clubs and stuff. But still, your opportunities for competing is a bit less. It's still a bit less.
and less structure.
So back to the whole intercall thing, right? I mean, I have a couple of Facebook comments here where people saying, let them compete with Euro. My thing is, let them compete, give them the medal for their performance, but it's really bragging rights. It's not, it does not, but for the intercollegiate meet. That's my thing. Allow them the opportunity to compete once they fit within the division, which is a senior division.
All right.
And remember, I said that we should not, in other words, there is a gap. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a gap. They need to compete, but not necessarily in the collegiate.
Right. Let me come in. Hold on. Let me tell you. Hold on. Here is the thing. Eh? One, and I agree with Scholar. I'll tell you why. The whole thing about, and I want to start with the national champs. The national champs, right, mainly is to accommodate athletes who are not in school. So athletes, for example, as Scholar was talking earlier on about some of the people who by the road, athletes who are not in secondary school, but have the talent. Hold on. Let me finish. Have the talent. They can compete in national champs and have the opportunity to be selected to go to Carifta and what other games. The problem, I think, the problem is, now, before, we had a lot more track and field meets where athletes could have competed, even athletes who were not in school. And so intercall was not an issue. So, for example, children who were in IFE, I remember when I left SAS, I still competed in Carifta because there was avenues to compete. In days gone by, we had things like Eastern Games. We had, in fact, there was the Whitsuntide Games.
Not Star Games.
No, I mean, Scholar talk about clubs. I think before we had a lot more clubs and probably more organized more games. But he had clubs, but the clubs are big. They had clubs, I mean, you had big clubs. And so, intercall was not an issue because you had opportunities to compete. Eastern Games was one of the biggest games you had. You had people from St. George's coming up and compete from all over. So if the system or if the association, they put things in place, then there is no need for children from TAMCC to be participating in intercall. And they will not be robbed of any opportunity to represent Grenada. Hold on. To represent Grenada or represent their school in track and field.
Godfrey, one of the questions I ask, as it relates to, as an athlete, you're really looking for opportunities to compete as much as possible, right? And in Grenada, whether we believe it or not, there are not a lot of opportunities to compete. In our time, there were very few games. We mentioned Eastern Games, whereas with Whitsuntide, intercall, our school sport, and that is it for the year. Now, my point
but you still had national champs, and we used to have there were a lot of other meets.
Not in our time.
Yes,
national
of course. In fact, so when I went to Carifta after secondary school, it was through national champs.
So Godfrey, so I'm still asking the question. Now, there are divisions, and the advantage or disadvantage has to do mainly with the division. Are you competing in a division like you are senior, but you're competing in a junior? And in that instance, we say no. As a senior, you're competing in a senior. You're competing among your equals. So the point being, what is wrong with us being in the same age group? What is wrong with an institution allowing its athletes to be organized and compete in the division that is currently theirs?
Because in the call...
Wait. Point I'm asking, what do we have to lose at that factor to intercall? Just like I believe cricket, soccer, intercall for TAMCC, because it's a living institution and they are operating within the same age range.
Livingston,
I don't see.
Hold on. Let me explain something. Traditionally, the intent of the intercall games was for secondary schools. TAMCC TAMCC is not a secondary school. So the issue of age is not an issue. Is that a factor then? What is involved here is a particular group, which is as athletes from secondary schools, not for, big children, so to speak. In the college for little children or for children, TAMCC and not children. There is big
we would not.
Age is not the issue.
We would not go in that one. Well, I hope we do not go into that direction. But hear me. A similar argument is taking place in the primary school. A lot of primary schools, they do not have under 15. But that is a category that is there. So I'm just saying, similarly, if there's a next institution that has, like you say, that within that age group, then the whole question arises, should they compete? Because they are competing within the age group. Like there are some schools that have under 15, but the majority of schools don't have under 15. So,
well, Doc, maybe what they should do is let TAMCC children compete, but let them compete for the school or they just come out in.
No.
What the competition you want them?
If age is an issue,
actually,
if
that would be
age,
the less of the two. Actually, that would be the less of the two even. That would be the less of the two even. So that would be good because allow them to compete. That would be the less of the two even. So I could work with that, although I don't believe that is the way to go. I don't see why TAMCC cannot go in an intercall and make 50 or 60 points and feel happy about that because the athlete.
But Livingston, intercall is for secondary schools, not for TAMCC. TAMCC is a secondary school.
You and Godfrey
so them, hold on. So them primary school children that is senior and think they go run in intercall.
Well, Godfrey you have the grouping for them.
So then let them make a grouping for TAMCC.
Godfrey, I think it is well established that intercall is for secondary school. We know that's established. We are just proposing of how is it that we can get our secondary school aged children that are in TAMCC that would have just left to continue to compete, which is what they need. That is what we were proposing. And I am not a stickler for things, that is how it was and that is how it's going to always be and make no change. I am always for things being added, things being changed, trying new things and all of that. And if you notice right now, our intercall is really the premier event. Not only school children that excited about it, adults more than anything else excited about it. People taking holiday to go to intercall, right? So it's a big deal. We could make it bigger. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Let me tell you something. As far as I'm concerned, you don't know secondary school age children in TAMCC.
No, only college you have. Only college.
You don't know secondary school age children in TAMCC.
College you have. McDonald College, Brothers
so Godfrey, you have under 20 in TAMCC?
Hold on, scholar coming, I will tell you why just now.
So you don't have secondary school age children in primary school?
But Scholar, they already is his school.
But it's not that age thing.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that they have a meet for them.
So get a games for TAMCC.
Yes.
And the reason why
I don't think there are enough.
Right. The reason why we're proposing
tertiary schools for that.
Scholar, that's the only. That's the only. Hold on, Scholar. Hold on. That's the only school of its kind. So it's not that there are 5 and 6 colleges in Grenada. It's only one.
Livingston, Doc, let me tell you something. No. Let me tell you. The whole thing about not enough, I ain't buying that. What has to happen is that more of TAMCC children need to get involved in track and field. Mind you, the children who you advocating for in TAMCC to be part of Intercall are the same athletes that leave SAS and GBS and go in TAMCC.
Yes, they were
same athletes. Compete. So if you have more children, I remember there was a year when issues was made about Western Hall Secondary where they did not fill in a girls team for Intercall, and that was a big issue.
It should be.
So what has to happen is that the TAMCC or whatever, they need to organize, and if they have enough, organize your children and have games for them. What is the population of TAMCC, Scholar?
I can want to have their own sport.
They do. And the turnout is not great. And that is a point I was about to make. The psyche behind this thing. When a child leaves secondary school, the whole psyche behind it is like when they go to college, a lot of these things done. You don't have to commit to it anymore because because of how they're thinking, because of what existed. That is the actual situation that exists there. That there isn't much sport meet, as you know, the competition is not really there, the rivalry is not there because it's a melange of students from all over. It is different, and they go into the school with that mentality. They don't you know, they meet that so they are more relaxed. They are not training as much and all that.
You see my point exactly, and that's why I tell you, when this experiment was done, TAMCC children's athletes didn't take it seriously. They didn't take it.
Give it a little time. Give it a little time.
Doc, get TAMCC to run their own, to do the I'll get creative. Leave things, just have boys and girls in Jamaica for secondary school children and so on. Leave the thing. And we have clubs. Maybe we can organize now. Somebody must come in. Because you see, there's a structure there. You have clubs now. So we can have big club competition, major club competition, where you have that same TAMCC children and them, but no.
I can't agree with you.
The dynamics is different, Scholar. The dynamics is different.
You know why, Scholar? Because the same clubs that you speak about, the TAMCC students belong to those clubs. For example, right? Tantin Bullets, okay? Tantin Bullets enters as a club. You have McDonald College as enter as a club too. You have schools that enter as clubs in meet. And what you find is that those children who went to that school, they go back and run for their school who's entering a competition as a club. So I don't see TAMCC necessarily benefiting from that still. I see the TAMCC students going and run for the Trackblazers. They go in and run for McDonald College. They go in and run for, I don't know if Peace is still there, but they're going to run for those clubs. They are not going to run for TAMCC. And that is the whole psychology behind TAMCC. TAMCC doesn't necessarily have an identity. And I wanted to add that in marketing, when you want something to sink in, you don't do it once. You do it at least 3 times.
So try to get that feedback, Godfrey.
You get feedback, I don't get no feedback. Godfrey there?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You see, stop tying up yourself. Stop tying up yourself. You're tying up yourself.
No, I am not.
Yes, you are stop it according to Congo. Now, here is your premise. And that has always been your premise, you know, that you have children in TAMCC who are of age and so on, and they could first feel competition because that's how they go run fast. Nothing about no TAMCC and no identity for TAMCC. This, hold on. Wait.
But therein lies the problem, Scholar.
Hold on. So here is the solution. Let the same clubs you're talking about have all the TAMCC, all athletes whatever they in TAMCC, they in club. Have a major club competition. Now what this does is not only give TAMCC children another avenue, you know, but it also gives secondary school children, primary school children, everybody at the club another avenue. Because the truth is that we don't run enough in Grenada. When I watch Jamaica, you're seeing Eastern pizza games, you've seen Central pizza games, you've seen every pizza game. One thing we have in Grenada, that's what the problem is. And that's why you see you and Doc balling for TAMCC to run it in Dakar, because the truth is that there are no avenues. That's why we have to create. Well, worry about you, good about.
Yes, but let me tell you, because you just explained about clubs and having a big club in it, right? And you listed again primary school getting to be in it, secondary school getting to be in it. So you have just described another avenue for all these entities to get to be part of it again. How does that increase taxes when you are also adding that secondary school could come and be part of it, primary school could be part of it, and they have their own mix again? And the reason why I said that TAMCC doesn't really have an identity, I'm not tying up myself. I am saying this to say that when they go to TAMCC, they don't feel committed to it. Get
that feedback maybe from Reece. That is
pre-existing, okay? That is pre-existing. So if you've tried it once and you do it twice, 3 times, and you can get like a sinking in, a buying in, that when you go to TAMCC, you don't necessarily end there. When you leave secondary school, it doesn't end there. That there's something to look forward to because there's buy-in. It has been continued a couple of times, whatever. Then you might see there being a TAMCC identity as a club or as a school or however you want to put it. But right now, all the children there, they just feel like they belong somewhere else, and they are there for education and not necessarily for anything else. They belong to their past schools, who probably have clubs, so they will go back and run for them. That's what I mean when I say they don't have an identity.
And fine, so get the identity for them. We need to, up to now, we don't take no comments yet.
Right, so let's take the break, and when we come back, we go to the Facebook page. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a moment.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
Get ready to witness the ultimate sporting spectacle at the Horizon National Athletics Championship 2023. This two-day event is taking place on March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium with a jam-packed schedule of middle and long-distance races, sprint races, field and jump events. This is an event not to be missed. Come see Track Blazers, Ace, 473 MVP, Fusion, Rising Stars, Velocity, New Track Club, and schools will be competing to showcase their talent and vie for national supremacy. This is the final opportunity for athletes to qualify for the Carifta Games. Admission $20. Children under 12 can enjoy the excitement for just $10. Also, don't miss out on the big showdown in the senior men's 400 meters between Commonwealth semi-finalists Michael Francois, Adian Peters, Troy Mason, and Simile Felix. It's the Horizon National Athletics Championship, March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Get your tickets now.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more Shango.
Welcome back, everyone. So let's go to our Facebook page. We see, know we have lots of comments, and then we have to take a couple calls. So let's see what comments we have on our Facebook page.
Right. So we had Dodo is saying that plane is going to leave Scholar, and the worst thing, he has my Callaloo in his carry-on bag. I cried. Let's see, I want to skip some of them because... Okay, so we have Jacinta Cyrus is saying, let Tam Sisi run with Nulo. She's also saying children are now doing CPA, taking 12. Cynthia is saying, last week you guys troubled Doc, you guys trying to do it again. No teaming up. We're not doing that, Cynthia. Dodo is saying, if Tam Sisi should be part of Intercall, they're only going to have athletes in the senior category. I don't think Tam Sisi should be competing in Intercall. There should be a special game for them, competing with Nulo, Tam Sisi, and with the clubs. And I think that's what Scholar is saying. Ernesto is saying good night to the panel. Reece, who are you fighting with tonight? No one. I'm behaving. Veronica Sandy is saying good night. They say Kim K. Lewis is saying Tam Sisi and Nulo need to organize a sport meet. Denson Stewart is saying the elephant in the room is the game name. Why secondary schools are the competitors in an intercollegiate game in We Culture. Collegiate game is for Tam Sisi and. Okay then, this is Denson. All right. Jose said Godfrey threw one shot put and he turned Mr. Sport. And before the night up, Godfrey and Doc will take over the conversation to SAS. Denson is saying, don't let a system tie up We Culture. Shama is saying, Ernesto, Godfrey, Doc, Patrick Simmons were very good runners in Intercall. That's what Shama Boris is saying. The 4x4 was their race. Jose is saying Tam Sisi should take part in the Intercall because I know MDC will come first. Okay. Jose is saying Shaman Godfrey was a shot put man. Dodo is saying in your dreams. Okay. All right. And Jose is saying, Dodo, you from Tivoli, what not to expect. So they're having their own little argument there about Tivoli versus Sotes, I guess. Those are the comments that are there right now. People are tuning in.
All right. So, folks, our telephone line is open. The number is 435-2041. You can call and you can, get to share whatever information you would like to share, on the program. Doc, what's your position as it relates to Nulo now and the whole Intercall thing?
I have not put much thought into Nulo. It's basically a technical school, and I don't know if most of the people in Nulo, what I would say, are within that kind of age group. But again, I have no qualms about Nulo wanting to participate, because I believe the greatest pool, as much as we can get athletes from that pool, I think they should be able to participate as an institution. And as we say, don't come in with the idea of size, eh? Don't come in with the idea of, but in Grenada we have only one tertiary. I mean well I don't know, pre-tertiary, because I don't know institution. Well, for matter of fact, when you think about college, the only college you have in Grenada is Tam Sisi, and it is an intercollegiate game. So the only college you have in Grenada basically is Tam Sisi.
Well, not necessarily. No. A college offers vocational, secondary, up to degree program.
No, a college actually gives you either get a bachelor.
No, not necessarily. No, secondary schools. The secondary schools are also in there. Secondary schools are also in there.
If in the technical field, you get some kind of certificate.
Yeah. From secondary up. Yeah.
A secondary schools are really not college, because college is a
no, they are.
Godfrey, if you know of any college beyond here, Canada, States, England, they are actually institutions that offer diploma or degree, bachelor degree.
No, they also offer secondary level as well.
Secondary, secondary school.
College is very broad. A college is very broad. Depending on what they offer, from vocational all the way up to degree, from secondary right up to degree. So college is very broad. So in fact, that was one of my contention, and I checked it out.
I mean, I have not checked it out, but I'm thinking about my experience with colleges. I go to checking out colleges. All the colleges offer some degree or some certification that makes you qualified if you are in a technical field. So when you come out from that college, you're actually a plumber or an electrician. You have a license to perform in that field. That to me what is a college. So I mean, I didn't want to play on the words because it's not so. I mean, for our purpose, we're using the secondary school, although they use college here. But the real college, the only college you can is something.
Let's go to the telephone. We have a caller on the line. We Culture. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Evening.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We're hearing you.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Are you hearing us?
Yeah, hearing you now.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. Now, very interesting topic, and good evening to everybody.
Yes.
Now, I wanted to tell you that Tam Sisi had a lot to talk about. Tam Sisi took part in 3 intercalls, right? But before I go to that, let me tell you, in the 1960s, right? Now, primary school, they had a football competition called Junior League, right? Now, this Junior League football played among the primary schools and the 2 secondary schools in St. George's, which was PBC and GBSS, right? So we had people leaving the primary school in the height of their football and going to GBSS or PBC and playing against the same school that they left. They left. Now, Tam Sisi take part in 3 intercalls. They didn't do too well in the first 2, but in September 1991, it was planned to win intercall with seniors alone, right? This started as soon as the people from the secondary school entered Tam Sisi. This was the plan. The training went on. The training started close to the end of September and went right up to close to intercall. We had people like Ted Charles, we had Clarkson, we had Squazzy. I don't know if you remember Squazzy. He ended up singing Calypso from SAS, and a few of them. Now, everything went well. We chose what we wanted. We chose all the events that we should win and come second in, and it was going very well, very well. All we had to do now, after we got to the 400, Clarkson won the 400, Ted Charles came second in the 400, and there was supposed to be a break because Ted Charles is the person supposed to come behind Squazzy in the 800. The break was called, it was announced and everything. But the guy running the meet, which was Conrad Francis, refused to take the break. So Ted Charles didn't get the rest time needed to go into the 800. And this is how Tam Sisi lost intercall in 1992, right?
Wow.
Now, Tam Sisi also took part in the football and basketball and everything. That year, they won the finals of both the football, the league, and the knockout, right? They won the knockout. They beat Happy Hill, and they came second to GBSS. But before that, GBSS and all the other schools beat them. They got into a semifinal one year and didn't come out. So my thing was that, now I'm telling you this because I coached Tam Sisi from 1988 to 1992, right? After the 1992, Mr. Oliver called me and told me that Tam Sisi would not be taking part in intercall again because we are a tertiary institution, right? I disagreed, but I made certain investigation. The name of that meet is the Inter-Secondary School Sports. That's the name of it, the Inter-Secondary School Sports, you know. But what happened after that is that we had this lull when we leave secondary school and to go into Term CC. Because of the studies, you didn't have much time. It was better to train while in school because we had canteen there. We had a thing we said blanket. When we said blanket, is that if you're training, you forget the classroom. If you're in the classroom, you forget about training. You know, and it was very organized, very, very organized. And don't ever mention these athletes never wanted to run for fun, right? They were interested in winning, and the plan was to win in the call with seniors alone, and it didn't happen because the director of the meet didn't take the break in the 400. They went straight into the 800.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, yeah. All right.
Interesting.
Doc, if you ask me, in my opinion, the only school that could have won intercall with a seniors team only was us.
Well,
I am almost certain of that. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, we were right there. I mean, all the talent, everything was right there for us to do.
Yep, definitely so. The caller made a point that the actual name of the game is the inter-secondary school games, and I think he's correct.
Which I find strange because...
No, I think he's correct.
Yeah, he could be, but when we say intercall, I thought it was intercollegiate.
Yeah.
And I know when teachers was on walk to rule. Right, I know the ministry wanted to have the game and they couldn't use intercall, and what they wanted to use, they used secondary school games.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is what, because on the paper, on our form, Godfrey, and I listened to a program that you were commenting on 2018, you and I think, Adam, and it was intercall. All our time, all the program.
Well, it has always been called that, intercall. Remember, intercall is just, yeah.
But anyway, so I cannot verify, so we cannot continue in terms of saying what.
Right.
But when you get a chance, I guess you might take a little call, but when you get a chance, I would like us to look at also the points. How they
this is what I was actually going into now, because yeah. So yeah, you could start.
Now, one of the things that they changed since then, I don't know the exact year. I was trying to get that information, and I mean, and data is so difficult to get about what we do here in Grenada is totally amazing. Now, when you run, we know it will come first, second, and third, but now they give points, and I have it somewhere. Let me see if I could find it. They give points for first position up to 8. And I don't know why that was introduced. I yet to see the logic in that. Example, when you come first, you get 12 points as an individual. Second, you get 8. Third, you get 5. Third, you get 6. Fourth, you get 5. Fifth, you get 4. Sixth, you get 3. 7, you get 2. And when you come 8, you get 1 point. So somebody come in like obviously a second and third, they get more points than the person coming first.
Yeah.
And I don't see the logic.
Let me just add to that. You can have a situation where a school never win an event and can end up winning winning the games. Now, I inquired about it, and you have a couple big-head fellas in the association who go in Jamaica and some other place and follow fashion, and they feel that they're doing something, and the truth is they ain't doing nothing. They just like to talk. And now I go start to open my mouth and expatiate. They don't have a clue. All they do, when those games happen, they walk around with their chest in the air playing heavy and think they know, and they don't know. So they go to Jamaica and they go to another couple of games, and them alone that is going, nobody else get opportunity. One cabal alone that get to go all about and do the thing, and nobody else gets an opportunity. And they come back and they institute. How could you? You have an athlete who wins, sets a record, establishes a record, right? And you telling me that that athlete is not distinctly separated from the rest of the team through points? It doesn't make no sense. That is total nonsense. Total nonsense.
But you see, another thing, I mean, I would like us to reward effort, but you also have to reward talent. That is what we do, and skills. So I have been in several sport meets, and you see somebody coming in 8 Godfrey. The race is already finished, complete, like a 4 or let's say 800 meter. And somebody's taking a very good time and they're walking to the finish line and the starters want to start the next race. And that person can reach. And you mean that person is awarded a point because they come 8th?
And what is the grounds for that? Talent?
Well, no grounds. Apart from that, you have a list, you have a group of persons that are qualified because you go through a series of process, preliminary, semi-finals, and then you are selected now for the finals. But because you are selected for the finals, you get a point automatically because you are part of that race.
And that
doesn't matter your point.
Let me tell you, it doesn't make no sense. Let me tell you, in terms of talent, the fact that you are able to get to the final speaks to your ability. But when you have athletes who can place first, second, and third, in my opinion, the cream of the crop, they should be distinctly separated from the rest of the team through to the point system.
I agree.
So then if that is the case, and you're giving everybody points, so then you should give the winner a gold, second a silver, third a bronze, fourth a pan or brass, and go down the road until you come to a piece of mud. So the 8th person getting a medal make of mud. You understand? No, I'm serious. It just doesn't make any sense. And them fellas and them who they feel they heavy and heavy doing all this kind of nonsense, and they don't realize how much harm they doing to the whole system than good. And it's that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, track and field is something that is an elite meet. I mean, you have to separate, you have to reward hard work, you have to reward effort. I can't see just the fact that you participate. And the truth is, people must aspire, people must fight to reach at the top. And you don't make it 1 year, you really come again. That is life.
But that's the whole point about it.
Because part of, I mean, I always say, I've said that on this program already, part of your track and field, what it teaches you in terms of character, is when you lose, to really pick up the pieces and come again. So you can't go home and, you brought to this point, for you did not bring a point when you come in. I cannot see you being rewarded.
It just doesn't make any sense. And for the games, it can create a lot of issues. Because if you have situations where you have athletes and schools winning and establishing records, you understand? And because of this, and I'm trying to find out what to describe that point system. If, because of that point system, you have schools who do not perform so well, still coming and be winners of the event, it doesn't make any sense.
So, Godfrey, let us go to the Olympics. You see countries and on the table, this country is leading, they have 12 golds, this silver, this bronze, right? Now, in Grenada, because of that point system, a school can win, but they don't have a force.
Exactly.
They break a record. So then when you look at the bowl and you look at the criteria, let us say school, whatever school, Mango School. So Mango School win the track and field meet. And you look at the bowl, well, how many persons get gold medal in that school? None. How many records was broken by that school? None. I mean, I believe that is baloney. Seriously? That a school can actually win an intercall.
That's baloney squared.
Because they have 2 athletes in a race, mediocre.
And win intercall?
And they win intercall? No, that doesn't make sense to me.
Not at all. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. And then people need to relook this whole thing and do something about it. Fix that whole system. It doesn't make any sense. Folks, our telephone line is open. The number is 435-2041. Give us a call. We'd like to hear your thoughts on some of these things. So give us a call, 435-2041. One of the things about Intercolor Livingston, just to kind of maybe switch a little bit, there are a lot of schools. For example, once you enter secondary school and you get into this track and field, it becomes a very big thing. In fact, to me, probably bigger than some of the other sporting events like the cricket and the football and so. The kind of emphasis and the kind of interest you see that is placed on the intercall games. It is, significantly more than the other sporting events. Why?
Yeah.
What about it? And considering that it is probably the sport meet that, how should I put it? In terms of regularity, in terms of frequency, it is least. We were talking about the amount of games and the amount of events that are held throughout the year. You have an entire season, for example, for cricket. Cricket runs for about what? 3 months, football, almost the same.
Well, when you say Grenada basically love the track and field. I believe that harnessing of that love for track and field is start to me in the primary school. Some people might even be the primary school. Teachers go crazy, and you find that a lot of parents get hooked on that, and then they follow after. There are some places it's not so big. Cricket is bigger, football is bigger in some places, but track and field in Grenadians seem to love the track and field. So I can
Guys,
see.
can we take some comments?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right. So we have Alexandra is saying high school do give you college degrees. Denton Stewart is saying the terms college and university both mean institutions offering tertiary education. Secondary school does not offer same. Jose is saying, I think we should define what intercall is all about. It is about secondary schools competing against one another. So if that's what it's all about, then TAMCC, neither NULO can be a part of the intercall if they're not secondary schools. We have a very active chat of people answering each other. Eh? So Dodo is saying, whoa, just so name is getting us mixed up with Papa. Cynthia is saying from college, referred to as tertiary education, we go to university. Cynthia is saying inter-secondary school sports. That's what it is. Cynthia is saying, remember, we are at the age now where we have to make everyone seem to be winners. We do not want to lower self-esteem. So all get medals, points, ribbons. Then we have Jose saying, I think intercall should have an age limit to participate. I think under 19 should be that age. Haven Hill is saying, I fail to see a valid reason for, excluding TAMCC. It can be argued that the ages of the students at some of the secondary schools match or exceed those of TAMCC students. So the talent is on the same level. But traditionally, intercall has been between secondary schools, although the name comes from the word intercollegiate, which means between colleges and universities. So to be fair and to avoid ambiguity, the name of the event should be officially changed to inter-secondary school. Cynthia is saying right now, intercall is secondary school sports. And Dodo is saying the question is, what's going to be done to fix that system of awarding all those points for 8th place, etc. You all need to advocate to have the change. Those are the comments. I thought we had some really good contributions and that we should get them in.
Yeah, definitely. Let me just see if we have anything on our WhatsApp platform. I did not see anything pop up here. Let's see. Right, someone is saying, good evening, Mr. Finley is absolutely right. Right. Good evening. Ask former PS of Education, Mr. Finley, the challenges students of TAMCC have to enter the US as a student athlete by the mere fact that they participated in sports during their college years. They lose 2 years of scholarship eligibility. What about the return of Form 6 for that purpose? Then Someone says, some years back, National College took part in the call and it caused problems because points were taken away from the winning schools. The schools didn't like it. And someone says, I entered GBSS in 1974 and around that time, both the girls and boys points were accumulated in one. I admit that SAS were very good in field events, so kudos to SAS. I took secondary schooling in town, but I'm from Grenville. And good evening. While I like Miss Reese's position, I have to side with Doc. Actually, any college that have a sports offering should be given the opportunity for to allow the athletes to compete. Right. Let me see what else. All right. Someone says, good night, folks. If TAMCC students should be allowed to take part, in my humble opinion, I think since they are all the colleges in TAMCC can represent the respective school. I think Scholar made that point earlier. Yeah. Right. Yes. So I think. Right, there's one more. Good night, we culture. Intercall is an inter-secondary school game and not those at tertiary level. However, if there's a child at TAMCC with great potential and for a possible sports scholarship, this child can be given an opportunity to compete.
But how would you know?
You see, the thing is, right, someone says, leave TAMCC out of Intercall, please. You see, and I believe the problem here, and I do take the point that the athletes there should have an opportunity to compete. However, I think the system and those heifers in the athletic association, these are the things that they need to be paying attention to. Find ways or create avenues for these athletes to be able to compete and earn their rightful place. For example, like in representing Grenada and what other areas. Create events. Find these come up with events, do things, and allow them to be part. I don't think, you see, people keep going on the age issue. I don't think it's about age. I think it's about the institution. And this is where I think that separation comes in. Intercall, secondary schools, TAMCC is seen at a different level. Similar to I think the various categories in school. You may have, I remember, for example, I, as a sub-junior, Mr. Donald, he threatened me, tell me if I ain't going long jump and give the house a point, I ain't going in the call. So I want to go in the call, so I gonna make one long jump and I end up winning the junior long jump. But I couldn't have gotten it because I was a sub-junior. You understand? So I think it's all about the institution and what is done, not about age. You understand? If it was about age, then by all means, but it's not about age. So that is my position on this whole thing. The telephone was going. We can go back 435-2041. You can come back with your let's go to the telephone. We culture, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, caller. Can you turn the volume of your radio TV down and listen to us on your telephone, please?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We're hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Go ahead. Good evening.
Yes, I'm calling just to clarify a couple of things. I want to refute the fact that Conrad Francis never directed Intercall. There was a caller who said that in 1992, Conrad Francis did not allow the break from the 800 to the 400. That is erroneous and is not true. In fact, Conrad Francis at the time was the coach of Ted Charles, Jeffrey Neptune, who scored most of the points in that meet. Also was the coach of Kwasi. Kwasi, I can't remember his first name, but he was a past student of Grenville Secondary School. And the caller correctly said he was a Calypsonian afterwards. So I just wanted to refute that that statement.
Okay. Yes.
I also want to clarify the fact that. I also want to clarify.
Hold on, Livingston. Let the caller finish.
That it is said that there are not much competitions these days, but I know for a fact that growing up and competing in the 1970s, there was only about 3 or 4 games that I competed in. I could think about national champs. That's 2. Eastern Games, that's 3. There used to be one involved, that's 4. But today...
But there was a Whitsuntide as well?
Yeah. I mentioned Whitsuntide. But today, thus far this year, we have had 6 games. There was 3 mini-meets at the National Stadium. Then it was followed by the Adrian Mitchell meet, open meet. Then followed by the Charles George Classic. And then the relay meet. And in fact, we had record numbers of participation in these events. We had, for the last 2 meets, the Adrian Mitchell and the Charlie George meet, we had over 300 athletes participating in those meets. And in the relay meet, we had over 500 athletes participating. And as you know, we have the national champs this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And you know what? We have a record number of athletes that will be participating. So far, the entry shows we have close to 700 athletes that will be participating in this meet.
Okay.
Then we will have the Whitsuntide Games after that. No, before that, we have the G2A relays coming up. And then the Whitsuntide Games. And there, in the Whitsuntide Games, there will be something special. This will be announced later on. Another thing that I heard again, and I guess some people just don't know about it, and we're not blaming anybody for that, but the selection of the character team, there is a policy that to be selected for the character games, you must have participated at the national championships. You can have an outstanding performance at Intercall, and it will be considered, but it will be based on if you participated at the national championships. We're not excluding anybody, but if you have any special reason why you could not participate at national champs, then we accept that, and we accept the performance that was done at Intercall. However, most of the times, the deadline for submitting entries for character is long before Intercall. For example, this year, the character in Nassau, Bahamas, the deadline is about, I think, the deadline is passed already. As a matter of fact, the GAA wrote for an extension because our national champs is on the 10th. So they gave us up to Monday to submit the entries. So these are the facts of the situation. So, and what was done also, we encourage our athletes to participate in our mini-meets, the 3 mini-meets, and then the Adrian Mitchell and the Charlie George, because those performances will be considered for selection for the character team. So we're not just depending on one meet to select the character team or intercall. Right? The performances in intercall are considered, but it is not necessarily we use that for selecting our team. On the question of Tom Sisi, I think Scholar said something there, right? And there was one, the past president of the Olympic Association always says that Mr. Royston Lang. He says that he thinks that Tom Sisi, the children there, should compete for their schools. So that's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. However, my point is, and it is a very controversial one, and it can be called reactionary also. And somebody mentioned it. I think that one of the readings, the person who wrote in on Facebook or wherever, mentioned it, that we may have to go back to the Form 6. Yeah, we speak a lot about Jamaica, but Jamaica, most of those study students are students that are in Form 6. All the schools have Form 6. And added to that, there are boarding schools, like how GBSS used to be before, so they have the athletes there, so they can get up 6 in the morning and go train and then come back and get ready to go to class, right? I'm not saying that we should go back to the boarding schools, but I'm saying that we have to look at the whole setup of going back to the Form 6. And you get a lot of licks for that. But what is happening, I believe that one of the reasons why the Form 6 was removed from the secondary schools, and again I can be wrong, was the fact that you wanted to have a centralized place, you want to have one laboratory, because all the schools could not afford a proper laboratory and so on. I'm saying if that is the case, the alumni, the diaspora, each school now is probably over 50 years old. So you have a large following, large alumni. Why can't they support the building or the management or the sustenance of good labs in those schools, and our kids can stay in school longer, at the secondary schools longer, so their sporting life would be longer, and also it may have some advantages, because teachers will get to stay in their own communities and teach in the schools and so on. But it is something that can be looked at. As I said, it could be something reactionary and it could be very controversial, but it's just an opinion. But I think it's a good program and ideas are coming out, ideas flow, but I've just presented some of the facts to you and also to refute something that was said earlier.
Caller, just before you go, the gentleman who made it, he has apologized. He sent in a comment on our Facebook page saying that he apologized for the statement. Maybe he got mixed up somewhere, so he has apologized. The other thing I wanted to ask though, in terms of, because you mentioned some of the games that you've had record number of athletes participating. What about the patrons who come out to support the games? What are these numbers like?
Surprisingly, we had good numbers coming out of our meets. Surprisingly, because one of the things, the parents now are following the kids. They are following them, and we have introduced in these meets categories from under 9 to seniors. So the parents follow these athletes, and we have quite a number of patrons coming out to these games. The relay meet, KFC did not come on board this year, and KFC is a brand in itself, so we did not have those large numbers as previously. But the fact that we were not able to promote the games as we normally do, because KFC, a lot of money is spent in doing that. We were satisfied that the crowd was big enough for the effort that we had put into it.
Well, the reason why I ask, and you sort of made that point there, the reason why I ask, aside from the relay meet and the national champs, I mean, for me, I never heard about was it the Adrian
Mitchell Games.
Adrian Mitchell Games. I never heard about that. Then there's another one you mentioned. Is it the
Charlie George Classic?
I have never heard of these games. I mean, things like that. Normally, I would hear, and so this is why I ask about the turnout from patrons. So maybe a little more needs to be done in terms of promoting these events.
My friend is almost Sam. I just want to get an opinion from you.
Yeah, go ahead. Listen.
So caller, I heard you mention about the Form 6, and I don't think that's a bad idea. For matter of fact, I believe that children are leaving secondary school too early. But be that as it may, while they left and they went to TAMCC, what is your take, your opinion on TAMCC competing at Intercol as TAMCC?
Well, as I said before, that I have coached. As I said.
Yeah.
Are you there, caller?
I'm not hearing.
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm not hearing Livingston.
No, he was asking. Yeah, he was asking you what's your thought on TAMCC participating at Intercall as TAMCC.
But as I mentioned, I have coached athletes going to TAMCC for a number of years. Right through my coaching career, I've had athletes that have attended TAMCC, and I'm always very sympathetic to them, and also I also envy coach like Mr. Wayne Maxine, right? Who have athletes who leave TAMCC and have to reach up to Progress Park before 5 o'clock. Some getting there after 5 when he's getting ready to leave, so it's very, very difficult for them. And I think that the opportunity should be given to them for competing. But it is a complicated something that needs to be ironed out by all the stakeholders. As you all rightly said, Reece and Nelson spoke about the cutting short of the careers. People getting into TAMCC at 16 years, and the fact that, as I said, some of them have to study, and then they have to rush back up to Progress Park. When they get there, sometimes they can't even train again because it's already late. The coach is going. Right? So they have no choice but just to stop. So something has to be done about that because it is cutting short the careers of our athletes.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much indeed for your contribution. We do appreciate it. All the best. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we have gone over time, so we have to wrap here. 30 seconds, Reece.
30 seconds. I wonder if I have 30 seconds. Oh, I would just read some of the comments that we have here. Michael Davison saying TAMCC took part in 3 intercall games in 1992. The athletes were prepared to win intercall with seniors alone. They were heading for the victory when the athlete danced. I just wanted to humbly apologize to Mr. Francis. Okay. Jose is saying there's so many sports games that TAMCC and ULO can take part in, then intercall, and it give them a chance to be selected for character games. Shoma is saying yes, Adrian Mitchell was awarded during that game. Dodo Charles is saying one of the greatest intercall 4x4 race and comeback was the 2016 final intercall 4x4 with Junior Charles from SAS. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who contributed. I really appreciate that. The callers who called in, including Mr. Conrad Francis, being someone who is very much involved in track and field, and for a lot of years now, there's been a lot of explanations. I still think that the discussion is there to be held. He agrees that careers are ending. There's a whole psychology about when you go to TAMCC and the studies and the time involved, and you either join a club in St. George's, which means you're getting home later, or for people who are from what we call the country. So I think it's still something that is on the table that is worth discussing. And when we have these discussions, that is how changes happen. That is how things get in place and all of that. So I think we had a very fruitful discussion this evening, and we can agree to disagree, or but I know that we agree to move forward for the betterment of sports development in Grenada, holistically.
Yeah, thank you. Doc, quickly.
Good night, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Conrad Francis, for calling in. I think you did bring some light and clarity. So I hope that I wish that more people contributed, but we got that time. Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much indeed. And just to say thanks to Conrad as well. And folks, those of you who probably didn't know, Conrad Francis was one of Grenada's greatest middle distance runners. Indeed. Fine style, great athlete. So thank you all very much for all your contributions. And of course, we look forward to being back with you next week on We Culture. Do have a good night. All the best.
A little more